Okay, so today I kind of want to just do a little brief talk on the free discourse of ideas in the college classroom, specifically talking about the controversial issues that kind of stray from popular opinion. So something that I've noticed is that professors will obviously provide evidence for what they believe is the right way. And I think a lot of this is substantiated because professors have been working in their field and are quote-unquote experts in what they're teaching on, and have been teaching this for several years, so they have that kind of background credibility to present information that is truly educational, where people are really gaining knowledge in areas where maybe if they didn't go to class and they didn't go to school, they wouldn't understand how things actually work and how things actually, what the best solutions actually are. So I think that, again, a lot of that is substantiated because they have done so much work in that area. But also I think that with that expert opinion comes kind of the one-sided coin. You only get to see one side of the coin and it never ever gets flipped over. Or if it does, you flip it over really quickly just to see that, oh look, it's wrong. The other side of the coin is not interesting, we don't want to look at it, and we like our side of the coin the most, so we're just going to look at our side of the coin and not flip it around every once in a while. But I actually think with the free discourse of ideas, the best kind of classroom is one where you're constantly flipping the coin. And there's that kind of energy and movement and flow, and that's where you get really good discussions as well. And when you do flip over the coin and say, okay, well, what does this really look like? You actually look really closely at the coin, maybe put it under a microscope. That's when more people are going to raise their hand and say, yeah, actually, I kind of am familiar with this side of the coin. I'd love to talk about it because I know more about like the history of the dude that's the face of this coin than I did about the side of the coin that you were focusing on. But if you just focus on that one side of the coin, no one's going to raise their hand and say, that coin, that other side of the coin that you're really putting down and saying is worthless, you know, I really actually like that side of the coin, or I found it to be useful, da 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 da. I also think that even if it is true, true in the sense that based on evidence, based on research, the other side of the coin is not a great option and you really don't want to be focusing on that other side of the coin, I still think when it comes to the classroom, it's really important to look at that side, because even if anytime you're trying to argue for one side of the coin, you have to look at the other to know what you're up against and to know what you're going to be arguing against. Because in order to form a good argument, you have to know both sides. If you just dismiss the other side of the coin without actually understanding it in that detail that you understand your own, then you're going to have a really weak argument. And I think that when there's a level of expertise, people have built their lives on that expertise. They've dug a hole, so to speak, and they've gone really deep. They've kept digging throughout their whole lives, and so they're really proud of what they've accomplished. They have this, you know, compound structure that they've built over years of doing research, learning, and fighting for what they really believe is right in terms of educating people. So to go up against that expertise can be really offensive. I think professors genuinely feel offended when you disagree with them, because there's a certain level of personal attack involved. You're attacking what they've come to understand is right. You're attacking their fundamental belief systems that they're trying to generously share with the world. And as a result, I think that oftentimes that can create that tension in the classroom, and the other side is often shut down almost immediately because it's interpreted as an attack instead of the free discourse. So what's the solution to that then? Well, I think that taking the ego out of the classroom is really important, not only for professors when they're teaching and choosing what to present to their students, but also the students themselves. When raising their hand, you know, are they trying to prove their point? Are they trying to impress their classmates with their knowledge, or are they really trying to seek the truth and potentially bring up, you know, maybe opinions that they don't even believe but they know to be controversial, that could stimulate that kind of conversation and expose the other side of the coin. Because once you take the ego out of question asking and material presentation, that's when real learning can occur, because suddenly all the gates are down, but with the ego all the gates are up. So I think that encouraging that dying to the ego to both professors and students can really facilitate the practice of free speech in the classroom, and I think it's a really great idea. How that actually happens, you know, I don't know. I think it just starts with individuals who decide to bring up issues, but I also think it comes from really good research. So, you know, the professor has done his or her research in their area of expertise. So I think it's a kind of on you as a student to do your own research. Really, when you get an assignment, really dig deep and do the best you can to fully understand the topic. You know, pick from a wide range of sources, read really carefully, and do a lot of really good critical thinking, so that when you do have something to say, whether it be following the research that your professor has done or kind of off on your own path, make sure that you have a really strong argument so it's actually helpful and beneficial to the classroom, so you're not just, you know, being subversive just to be subversive. Make sure to have a really good point if you do have something that's somewhat subversive, so that it actually is beneficial to the whole discussion and other people can find points to jump onto with what you're saying. So that's just something I've observed today, specifically in class. I just wanted to capture these thoughts, and yeah, I will see you later. Bye.